Welcome, welcome, everybody. We're so excited to have each and every one of you here tonight at the Spokane ASEA Summer Celebration. We absolutely love this event that we've been doing for the last about 5 years, and I'm so grateful and honored to have so many of my dear friends, some of the very most top executive leaders from this company who are here tonight to explain the science of ASEA, what this product does, and of course what this business can do to change your life. And I am Denny Robinson. I live here in Spokane, and being part of ASEA has been one of the most joyful, fulfilling parts of my life that I've ever experienced. And tonight I'm so excited. We've got actually 4 doctors who will be telling you a little bit more about what ASEA does and it can do for you and your body. So with that, I'm going to have them come on up and share the stage with me. So here we go. First of all, Jerry White.
I'm a physical therapist and a doctor of amazing. Really, what I wanted to just share with you in this short little bit was when we work with our lives, one of the things that can happen, one of the things you're going to hear is how people have had really remarkable life-changing experiences, and a lot of them will attribute this to this technology. And yet, I want to subject you to something that happened in my life. When I first started to see this, I began to realize that we have a choice. Each one of us has a choice where on any given day we can start moving toward health and vitality and improved life. One where you can have so much more than just a lack of symptoms. It was a shock to my system to come out of trying to treat people's sicknesses and say, when you're done with that, what comes next? What comes next is a remarkable ability to live life far above and beyond when you can take it out of yourself and begin to start affecting other people. In our family, it's changed our lives dramatically. In yours, if you don't see it today, you'll see it over time. It will change your life dramatically in how you can adapt to a changing world very rapidly through turning on the genes in your DNA. We decided to change, and it's changed everything about my education, my life, my vocation, my family. And with all the people that are to come after me, I want you to remember, hear the heart and where we're coming from. We want to invite you to be a part of the change that's about to happen. So next, I would like to introduce you to Dr. King, who comes to us with a reference from Chinese medicine that is going to give us a bit of his perspective on the use of these technologies.
Thank you. Let me introduce myself briefly. My name's Hong King. I practice acupuncture for many years. I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine. I was born into a Chinese medicine family. I'm the 3rd generation. When I was age 24, I started acupuncture research at the Navy, Army, Air Force General Hospital in the Republic of China. So I'm a very familiar Chinese medicine. I'm still practicing. 47 years, I'm still practicing. When I practiced acupuncture, that was in 1972. Okay. Now I practice acupuncture with my son in the Maryland state. Okay, I'm very happy to make this trip to come here because I enjoy coming to this resort, vacation resort. I'm very happy. Okay, now Chinese medicine says there are 2 types of circulation in our body system. One is invisible circulation, one is visible circulation. Invisible circulation is the qi, is the life force. Visible circulation is the blood. So we need to keep our body have a good energy, good qi, to push our blood circulation. So once our circulation and blocked, we consider we are healthy. But Western medicine don't talk about the qi. They talk about the cell. Entire body, there are around 60 to 85 trillion cells. So the cell need to have a good signal to connect with each other, right? So if you have a good cell, good signal, then you can maintain healthy. So this is a different approach, but similar principle. So I am very happy and we are very lucky. Years ago, one of my patients introduced this to me, and I've been using this for many years. So I have many good testimonial. I hope one day I can share with you. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hi, my name is Dr. Dick Walker. I think some of you know me. I'm from Spokane, Washington. My background is I'm an MD. My training was in internal medicine and emergency medicine. And along the way, I also got degrees in preventive medicine and nutrition. And my family, my folks who were paying for a lot of that, I'm sure, were wondering if I would ever actually go to work. But I've been a physician for 38, almost 40 years. And I was first introduced to ASEA by our first speaker, Jerry White. And I was astounded that there was something that was this impactful that I knew literally nothing about. I had heard the term redox signaling. I really didn't know what it meant. But when I found out how absolutely foundational this product was to us maintaining our health and our vitality, and how essential it really is in anybody's personal health and wellness program, I got really excited. And it didn't take me long looking at the science to realize that this company really had something that no one else had, that could do things for your health, your wellness, your anti-aging program. You know, I used to not think much about anti-aging until I turned like right around 60 or so. And things just didn't bounce back the way they used to do when I was younger. And so I was really on the lookout for something that would allow me to, in a really significant way, keep my body functioning like it did when I was younger. And this is the product that can do that. This is so foundational to your body maintaining itself at the cellular level, maintaining that functionality. And when things wear out, and trust me, things do wear out, and that process starts at the cellular level. And if you can correct that, if you can give your body a tool that it already knows what to do with at that cellular level to maintain and to improve the function, you really have something here. And that's what makes this such an incredible business opportunity, is that all of you, I can guarantee you, can make a bigger influence and have a bigger influence on the people that you know than their doctor can. And in the 7 years or so that I've been recommending ASEA, I can guarantee you that I've helped more people than I think in the 38 years that I was practicing medicine. And I was no slouch. I mean, literally, I worked 50, 60 hours a week in the emergency room, saw lots of patients, but it was not unusual for me to walk out and discharge somebody and just have a lingering desire to be able to help them more, and especially long-term with their health, than I had been able to do in that visit. And now we all have a tool that we can do that with. So go out and tell more people about this, get them on some of the webinars that are offered to get people educated. And the worst thing you can do with ASEA is to keep it a secret. You want to spread this far and wide, and you'll influence literally hundreds, if not thousands of people. So thanks for coming out tonight. Enjoy the rest of the speakers, and I believe David Silverman is up next.
Okay, let me just grab the bottle here. So, my name is David Silverman. My background's podiatry and foot surgery, and I went about as far as you can go in podiatry, being board certified in foot surgery and foot orthopedics, and I own my own practice and surgery center. And I'm humbled every time I speak about this. My wife and I, Wendy, live in the Washington, D.C. area, but I'm very humbled by this. 8 years ago, I got introduced to this by my friend who will be speaking in just a few minutes, Debbie Wetzler. And the first thing she said to me was, I love you, and you need to know about this. And that's the way I think we all feel about this, that when you care about people, you tell them about this. This is not just a product. This is a breakthrough for humanity. It is a breakthrough for humanity. It is not a drug. We need some drugs for certain situations, but this is very special. And people ask me, how does it work? Are there studies on this? And there are genetic expression studies. I got introduced to this 8 years ago. The only reason I took the time to look at it, and I didn't understand what it was. I didn't understand what it was at all at first, but my dad was sick. My dad had an issue with his prostate that no one wants to hear they have in any part of their body, their pancreas or their bone or their breast. And I love my father. So did I want to know how it worked? Sure, I was curious. Did I want to know why it worked? Sure, I was curious. But all I really cared about was two things. Could it help my father or help my father's body take care of itself? And could it hurt my father? So I'm just take a couple minutes and give the simplest explanation as to what this is. Your cells make this, as was said before. It's called redox signaling molecules. Your cells make them right now out of salt and water. It's not salt and water. Redox molecules are not salt and water. They're charged molecules, reductants and oxidants. We all have them in us right now, but we produce more when we were younger. And at puberty, when we're kids, we have a lot. You notice how fast kids heal from injuries, and they don't have many diseases. But then in our 20s, we're not healing as quickly. We're faster and we're stronger, but we don't heal as quickly from injuries and tonsillectomies. In our 30s, we're not as healthy. 40s, less healthy. 50s, 60s, we start having more and more diseases as we get older, and we don't heal as quickly. And we have more wrinkles. We age. Well, it corresponds exactly to when our mitochondria, our cells, start producing less of these redox molecules. And what they do is they amplify signaling in the body. They keep our good genes turned on. And they found a way to make it outside the body. Now, that's the first miracle, that they can make it outside the body. And they made it outside the body in a drink version and a gel version, which someone's going to be sharing something powerful in a minute here. But here's the thing about not hurting. Every drug can hurt you. You can be allergic to it. There's toxicity. If you take too much of it, your liver can't handle it. You will get sick. And if you take too much more of any drug, you know what happens to you? You die. You will overdose on any drug, whether it's aspirin, acetaminophen, cholesterol medicine. People think of heroin, of course, but you'll overdose on anything, right? And third, and you can't overdose on this. First of all, you can't be allergic to it. It's in you. You can't overdose on it because it's not metabolized by the liver. If you take too much, your body turns it back into saline. That's what our cells are filled with, right? And third, a drug, you have to worry about it interacting with other medications. This is not a medicine, interacting with other things. This doesn't interact with anything. So people just baseline their health when they start. Energy, sleep, libido, mood, skin problems, liver problems, anything in your body that's made up of cells that doesn't function as well as it did when you were younger is fair game for this product. And you just track your progress and watch what happens. It's pretty amazing. So that's the simplest way to explain this. And for people I shot a 10-minute video, whyitspossible.com, just a simple explanation. If someone asks, how does it work? Just play the video. Here's a skeptical doctor whose dad was very, very sick. He took the time to look at it. Now he's on the medical board. Just listen, I don't understand how it works. All I know is you had more of this stuff in you when you were younger. And play the video. It's just that easy, okay? So what I'm really excited about is this. In a couple minutes, I'm not sure who's going to be speaking about this, but whoever speaks about this, the gel version of it, I believe Tammy Gates is going to do that. Proof's in the pudding. You know, it's all hearsay, it's all words until you have an experience. Google is a search engine, it's not a research engine, right? People can write whatever they want on Google. You have to have a result or see someone have a result to say, oh my gosh, this is real. She'll tell you what to do with the gel. You don't have to wait 90 days. This could be 1 day to 90 days. This, 10 minutes. 10 minutes and anybody's gonna know about that this is real. And she'll explain it, okay? So I want to thank you very, very much. And who's coming up? Oh, here she is. This is the beautiful Ambassador Double Diamond, Tammy Gates.
So guess what? Everyone here can participate in my official, non-FDA approved clinical trial, okay? So raise your hand if you are a guest of someone here tonight. Stand up, actually. I have a friend here in the blue and white striped dress who is going to help you follow my instructions. If you're at home watching on Facebook Live, I encourage you to do the same instructions we're doing, whether you're a guest of someone or whether you are an associate. Because unofficially, we kind of have gathered some statistics and some data that if you hurt somewhere, or if you are not flexible somewhere, or you have stiffness or soreness or achiness somewhere, that we see about an 80 to 90% success rate using our Renew 28 gel in about 10 minutes. So my lovely Vanna White, Ruth Ann, is going to quickly come around and give you a sample of Renew 28. Before I tell you how to apply it, I would like you to think of a number between 1 and 10 on the hurt or achiness scale for where you might like to apply our Renew 28 gel. So if you can reach your knee or your neck or your elbow or your hand or your fingers, somewhere you can reach, and give yourself a rating of a number, okay? She's gonna pass through and she's gonna give you a sample. We're gonna check in with you in a couple of minutes, and we're gonna give you a second application of Renew 28. And then in a couple of more minutes, we're gonna give you a third application of Renew 28. And then we're going to bring 3 or 4 of you up here to kind of give you give everyone at home and in the crowd the results. Okay, make sense? So you guys know what you're doing in our official clinical trial, right? So at this point, what I'd like to do is turn some time over to my husband, Chuck. We are Ambassador Double Diamonds. We've been with ASEA for almost 10 years. And what Chuck is going to do is kind of give you an idea of what, how much money some people are not spending these days because they're using Renew 28 and ASEA. So Chuck, the floor is now yours.
Well, it's nice to see everybody here tonight. And I'm not going to talk long. You've got a lot of smart people that are going to be up here as well. But I just want to say, some of you that are guests here, it was a smart person that invited you. If you're watching this on video, live, someone that's smart actually cared enough to tell you about this. And if you're smart, you'll pay attention, because we all did. And it truly has changed our lives. You know, one of the things I've done that they wanted me to talk about, but I just took my camera and I started going up and down the aisles of a drugstore, of a CVS pharmacy. And of all of the things, people go into the pharmacy for it. They go in there for moisturizers. They go in there for hair care products. They have a problem with their stomach. They go in there for stomach disorders. They've got a headache. They're going in there to find something to help them with their headache. And the fact is that every person that goes into that pharmacy, guess what they all have in common? That everything in their body is comprised of cells. And everything that can bother you is because the cells are not doing what they're supposed to do. They're damaged, they're not functioning, or they're in disarray. And what this product does, this doesn't just what Tammy was telling you just now about putting it on for discomfort. It doesn't just go in like a liniment and work to alleviate and make it feel soothing for a little bit. It'll go down and get to the root of the problem and say, you should have been cleaned up 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. We're seeing things with this product and all across the world. We're now in over 30 plus countries. And the thing is, the product works the same on every person on the planet. But it doesn't just work on people. It works on dogs, cats, horses. Everything on the planet Earth that has more than one cell uses this science of redox biochemistry to communicate at the cellular level to repair damage and bring things together. So with that, I would just tell you, go through your own drugstore, go home through your own medicine cabinets, and start seeing all of this stuff. And for many of you, can you raise your hand if there's things that you've got in your cabinets that you don't use anymore because this product? I wish we could turn the camera out here, but every one of us are finding that we're not having to spend the money on things, sleep aids, skin aids, all different types of modalities that we spent a lot of money before. We're not spending it now. And at the same time, we're all feeling healthier, looking better. And so hopefully that's you. So be smart, pay attention.
So before let's just check in. If you could wave your hands at our Ruth Ann, and she will give you a second application. It's been 3 minutes. So if you had application number 1, make sure she gives you application number 2.
Okay. And with that, I'd like to bring over Triple Diamonds, Cindy and Bo Buck, and they're going to talk to you. Basically, why is it this mode that they're getting the product and getting the word out about this technology? And so with that, Triple Diamonds from Colorado, Cindy and Bo Buck.
Hey! So great to see you guys here tonight. We're going to talk to you just for a couple minutes about why the heck this incredible company chose network marketing as a business model to get this incredible scientific breakthrough to you, the people. This company was headed down a pharmaceutical path for 17 years. And bumped up against the FDA trying to get approval for 3 specific drug applications. They didn't know what they had, and they couldn't stabilize the molecules. So anyway, that company ended up selling off the intellectual property and all the patents to a company that's now called ASEA. So ASEA was able to stabilize the molecules and identify the mechanism of action, why they were getting the results they were getting. And that was because they had created redox signaling molecules. So now, how are they going to get this to the people? They gave it to 40 people. Within 2 months, they had 135 people in 20 countries asking for more. That's when the pharmaceutical company flew in from New Jersey to buy the technology. They looked through all the medical information that we had purchased, which we can't use because we're not a medical company. And they said, we're very impressed. And we're so impressed that we want to write you a big fat check. So big that you don't want to talk to anybody else. But there's a catch. And the catch is, if you take this check, we own it, you don't. And we make it, you don't. And, so Verta said, now wait a minute. When we first found out about this, we wanted to make sure people would drink it because it tastes kind of like pool water when you first drink it. And the more unhealthy you are, the worse it tastes. The healthy you are, the less you notice the taste. So they gave it to 40 people, and there were 6 of those people that were really in dire straits. And those 6 people were starting to get better. And so all of a sudden, in this moment in time, it changed from a business decision to a humanitarian responsibility. And that's when Vertus Norton, because of his principles, turned down the money and kept the people, those 6 human beings, in his mind. The pharmaceutical company said, are you crazy? Do you see the size of this check? It's 6 people. And Vertus said, you know what? It's only 6 people to you, but it's 6 people to me. Yeah. So they decided to bring this incredible technology to the people through the people, and that's how they chose network marketing.
So another thing here is why network marketing? Well, we talk about the FDA, and lots of people ask whether or not whether this product is actually cleared by the FDA. But what's the FDA all about? It's all about drugs, right? Well, this product isn't a drug. It's not a food. That's why it's not approved by the FDA. We have an FDA-approved facility. We've got GRAS status from the FDA. Bottom line, if this had gone through pharmaceutical, through the FDA and now having to be administered by healthcare professionals, number one, it would have taken a minimum of 12 years for it to come to market. Number two, it would have only come to market addressing 3 different health issues that they were working on. And we know now that it addresses all health issues in helping the body to do what it does best, which is heal itself. So that's why network marketing. definitely not FDA. And we are introducing now
Rebecca
Rebecca Weens. Rebecca, triple diamond.
Hello.
Check out the screen.
Before we get started, before I start, I want Ruth Ann to go around again with the Renew 28 while I'm talking. I just want to talk with you a few minutes about the importance of prevention. 5 years ago, next month, I started using this product. I had no idea exactly what I was using it for, but I understood the science and I went with it. But 2 years ago this month, I was diagnosed with a giant bulging artery in my brain. And I had to have a procedure to have it repaired. My neurosurgeon knew that it was very risky, but we had to do it. My neurologist said he'd never seen one that large. I went through the procedure. I started doing some research. 3 things that determine rupture versus non-rupture of these bulging arteries are age, size, and location. None of that was in my favor. The next variable is the degree of inflammation already in the body. We already knew that ASEA decreases inflammation. The next thing that happened, I was like, okay, that's a good clue as to why I'm still here, but there has to be more. 2 months later, we went to convention and the new studies came out done by Tariet Laboratories that show that this product affects 5 genetic pathways in a positive way, to include increasing arterial elasticity. I thought, there you have it. I didn't know 5 years ago what I was looking at. I believe God knew what I needed, but I do know that it has been a big lesson to me about the importance of prevention in every area of my health, and I'm so thankful that ASEA has helped me in that way. Thank you. Marsha White's coming now.
Thank you, Rebecca. I am Marsha White, and my husband and I have been around ASEA for about 7 years, and I wanted to share my testimony that I just recently had that was really an eye-opener to me. We, as ASEA, we have ASEA athletes. We know that we have increased endurance, shortened recovery time. We have Brija Larson, that's an Olympic medalist. That's a swimmer that are on the product. We have Michelle Salt, who's a Paralympian, is on the product, and many other ASEA pro athletes. But all of us here are athletes too, whether it's, getting from your chair to the car is your athletic marathon for the day, or whether it's, you're out doing Olympic sports. And for me, 10 years ago, I was introduced to the sport of triathlon. And when I was introduced to that, it was truly as this is something I could participate in the women's triathlon. I could finish the distances, but it was absolutely not a fun time for me. I couldn't breathe. I had a lot of troubles breathing. I had troubles with my feet. My kids, bless their heart, they would, because it's a women's triathlon, you can get a little bit of support. They're a little more flexible. They would actually ride their bikes along the run course and sing worship songs to me so that I wouldn't think about how uncomfortable it was to try and run and to try and breathe at the same time. And I had women stop me and say, "Do you need my inhaler? Are you okay?" It was not a fun time, but I was participating. But now let's fast forward about 5 years, and I'd been on ASEA for about a year, and all of a sudden I found out I don't need to be using this inhaler anymore. I can run freer without putting chemicals into my body, and I don't have to have my kids singing worship songs to me to just make the through the run thing. And I began to perform a little better. Workouts were a little easier, and I even began to place a little bit, and I thought that is a miracle just to be able to make this run without stopping. I'd never started running until I was 50 years old. But now let's fast forward another 5 years to this last weekend. I had, to me, another ASEA miracle. I never, ever in my wildest dreams ever thought I would complete an Olympic triathlon. I have some issues with my feet, with my breathing issues. An Olympic triathlon, you swim just under a mile. You go 25 miles on your bike, and then you run 6 miles. And I did one of those last weekend. I went into it thinking if I can just participate, this will be great. But I was able to, and I had a goal of 3 hours and 15 minutes. I went under 3 hours. And I was able to win the 60 and above age group. And not only that, but immediately after the triathlon, I drank a pouch. We have SIA comes in these bottles, but they also comes in 8-ounce pouches that are great for your workout bag or sticking one in the car. Drank one of those right after the race, and I had no effects on Monday. Yeah, my muscles were a little bit tired, but no aches, pains, or anything like that. So I'm just really thankful to ASEA. I can't wait to see what journeys it takes me on in the future. So thank you. Next up, I think we have Tammy Gates coming back to see what our people are doing.
Right. So if you participated in my official clinical trial, would you stand up again? Amazing. Okay, thank you. So and you at home, I want you to do this final part as well. So now give yourself your final number after 10 minutes and 3 applications. Give yourself a final number. And if you had a change in your number, I'd love to have you join me up here really quickly. Good. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, who else had a change in their number? Anyone? You guys, come on up. You bet, come on up. Don't be shy. I'm just going to have you say what your number used to be, where you put it, and what your new number is. And if you did not have a change in your number, sometimes it takes a few applications, but I wanted to show you how quickly you can get a change in your number. So what's your name and where you're from?
I'm Tabitha, and I'm from Clayton, North.
Clayton. What was your original number?
About a 7. Sunburn here, so it's a little sore.
Oh my goodness, she does have a sunburn. Okay, so she applied Renew 28 on a 7 on her sunburn, and what's her number now?
I'm down to a 2. It does not hurt.
She's down to a 2. Woo, thank you. Come on up. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Melissa Byron, and I'm from here, Spokane, Washington.
And what was your number and where did you apply it?
About a 5 on my lower back, and it's about a 2 at the moment.
Way to go. Yeah, congratulations. So that's just a little quick experiment about how powerful these molecules are and how they can help you. And at this point, I want to introduce you to a very good friend of mine, Ivani Yu from the Maryland area. And Ivani runs a wellness center, a very popular, very called for wellness center in Maryland. Triple Diamond Ivani.
Thank you. Hi, how are you? And my name is Ivani. Come from Maryland. And I own over 17 years now. It's called My Wellness Center in Gettysburg, Maryland. And about 8 years ago, I add one of the greatest product, which is the redox signaling molecule, into my center. The center started 17 years ago. I based on one thing. It's called love, service, and kindness. Okay, and that is so much of when Sia. I have a great 2 lady, Debbie and Beverly, reached me, and I thought this is great because I believe one thing. It's called native from the body. So that's very easy to let me accept it. So and all these years. By you as being a traditional business owner. I have over $10,000 when the door opened a month, and that's the expense, right? But then this is give me a chance to learn what is called the network marketing, and I get able to bring this up. But one thing is very important for it, and I help many of people in here. Many of you probably is as a job, right? We're waiting for the paycheck. Another one is you're like me as a self-employee. So you have a lot of expense. So this is one of it to me 8 years ago and up to build right now. I'm in the build to the triple diamond in this business. So I would like to share with you, everyone should know this one is a very unique and different. Difference of nobody has this product and it's native from our body. So I'd like to have this to share with you about the business side. You can see this is no matter you are in the paycheck or you are in the self-employee, and this is the chance, the opportunity to provide to you. So it's provide to me. We can bring this to the world, to everyone you love. Okay, thank you. And let me introduce Mr. John Bash, our diamond, and she has 40 years of network marketing.
Thank you. Okay, you just heard a lot about the product. What I'm going to talk to you about for just a minute is why I chose ASEA as a company. You know, I've had over 30 years of network marketing experience. In fact, my last job, I was a busboy in high school. Now, I did do some other things in the process, but I've had at least 32 years. And I can tell you, during that time frame, I've had some success with a lot of different companies. But when you're looking for a company, there's a number of things that you want to find. You want to take a look at the founders. What are they like? What is their tracker? What have they done in the past that makes them so worthy of attracting you to their business? What about the company itself? And the product needs to be a wow product, a product that really grabs your attention for some reason. And then, of course, the compensation plan. How do you get paid if you do a good job in a company like this? Because you're looking to get rewarded for whatever it is that you do, the amount of energy you expend and the time that you put into a business like this. And I can tell you that when I was introduced to this company, the first thing that impressed me was the founders of the company. And, you know, when I left that, I can tell you when I met them, spent time with them, had a chance to talk to them, and I went home, my better half said to me, "What do you think?" And my first response to her was it was like a breath of fresh air. And she said, "What does that mean?" And at that point in time, I was working with a company with foreign operations, foreign leaders. And what I meant by that was I had run into some people that knew who they were, they knew where they were going, and they knew how to get there. And that impressed me because so many companies, all it takes is one of those aspects to be out of whack, and that company will have some kind of issues in the future. So I was very impressed with that. The product up front, I didn't quite get it. And maybe some of you that are here tonight for the first time, you're looking at this and say, well, you know, it looks like some of the other things I've seen in the past. I can assure you, it is nothing like you've ever seen in the past. There is nothing out there like this. And it's not just a wow product, it's an amazing product. And when you really spend the time to look into it and understand what it is, what it's made up of, and what it does for the human body, and how important it is to all life, if that doesn't get your attention, then you need to sit down and read some more about it, because literally you're missing something. It's a huge product. So that made a big difference to me. And as I look back in my history of operating within this industry, I did make a lot of money doing a lot of things. But when I finally figured out what this product was, because again, up front, the leadership, the company's what you would call culture. The culture here is what they call P over E, which is people and principle comes before ego and economics. That should be contrary to wherever you're working now. Usually, it's all about what you do for them. Here, it's what they can do for you. And that impressed me to a great level. And I can tell you, at that point, I realized for myself that everything that I have ever done in this industry has brought me to this point and prepared me for this opportunity. And as a result, the success is coming because I'm putting the time and my heart and energy into it, because I want to share this great product with as many people in the world as I possibly can. So I want to thank you, but at the same time, take a good hard look at this product before you leave here tonight, because I can promise you it will change your life if you give it a chance. God bless you. I'm going to bring up Triple Diamond Nancy Walker.
Thank you, John.
Hey everybody, the topic I was given tonight is create a life. And I'm going to talk about my life, so it's a subject I should do okay with. So when Dick and I were introduced to ASEA by Jerry and Marsha White, Jerry came over to our house and I thought, oh dear, we have not one extra hour in the day. I don't know how we're going to do this or how Dick's going to fit it in. And many of you have heard his story. He was an emergency room doctor. He worked all the time. And guess what? When you work in a hospital, you don't get weekends off. You don't get holidays off. We had 4 children, and we took care of Dick's mother, and holidays are a big deal to me. And Dick was never home for an entire holiday. He was just absent. He was absent a lot. And at that time, we'd been married 22 years. I worked days, he worked nights. I had a retail store. I worked probably 15 hours a day. I had 150 alpacas. I did all the vet work. Dick helped me too. We shared. I sorted fiber. I made yarn. I sold yarn. So I'm not kidding when I say 15 hours a day. And then Dick was working nights. We just had no time. And I was interested in the product because I had a health challenge for 35 years that I'd suffered from. But when it came time to think about doing something else, I was not interested. And did you know that people in the United States work more than people in most of the rest of the world? We work more hours. And it's so important to us. We wear it like a badge on our shirts. We confuse our identities with what our jobs are. Isn't that one of the first questions you ask someone when you meet them? What do you do for a living? Well, this is not who we are, but this is the the illusion that we get trapped in. And as much as we work, do you have a sense that more and more people are confused about where they fit in, or who they are, or what their purpose is? If that was our identity, we wouldn't be so confused. So I don't think it's that important to know who you are, but it is important to know what you're capable of. And I guarantee you, network marketing and this ASEA business has an uncanny ability to show you what you're capable of. And the more you get in touch with what you're capable of, forget about all the hours you work. That's not important, because you can craft a life that you want and do what you want when you want, and you will discover who you are. So anyway, that's it. And now I'm going to introduce my good friend, Debbie Wetzler. Debbie Wetzler has built a triple diamond ASEA business on 20 minutes a day. And I just love her. She always talks from her heart. Here she is.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everyone. So many people get into this because they want or need a product experience. But I can tell you that this product company ethos has changed so many people's lives in so many other ways. When I first heard about this, I thought the product and the science behind it was incredible. I literally did take this to a molecular biologist who had studied these molecules for 17 years and had done extensive research and literally thought it was totally impossible for these to be stabilized, as many scientists and doctors have. And when she told me that this was massive and would change the medical field as we know it, I got chills down my spine. Instantly, everything hit me, and I only could see the fact that this was going to change people's lives, the product. We were the only company in the world to have this, and we had this golden opportunity to be able to share this with people who would never, ever know about it unless we stepped up and talked about it. And that takes courage, because not many people know what redox signaling molecules are and why they need them. And so I started from a place of the first time in my life needing to have financial stability again. I had been an entrepreneur my whole life. I had made a lot of money, and I was always financially secure. But at the time that I found this product, I had stepped down to help a gentleman with his children's website. He had gone bankrupt in 2008 when the economy tanked and went so bad. And I was left with absolutely nothing coming in, with a daughter to still care for, who was in college, who had been through a lot already. And I was totally felt, for the first time in my life, not hopeless, but almost hopeless. And I say that because there's always hope, of course. And so I got down on my knees and prayed the night that I got a letter of foreclosure in the mail. They were going to take my home away. That's where my daughter and I lived. And I was the only one supporting her. Her father had moved, and my father had passed away, and I had an elderly mother left who was in not great health care. And so I got down on my knees and prayed, and before the next morning when I got out of bed, Cindy Buck, who you've heard from tonight, called me about ASEA and told me about it. And I instantly recognized this as an opportunity, something so huge that this was going to change the world. And when I first heard about it, it was what John Bash just said. This was an E over P company. It was a P over E company, sorry. They put principle and purpose over ego and economics. And all of that culminated into this amazing difference for me. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is so much bigger than what I ever thought possible to come into my life. And I can tell you, at the time I was working at a restaurant. It was the only job I could find at the time. And that's not to put down that. It was just very hard. I was working incredible hours. I was working from 10 in the morning till midnight or 1 or 2 every single day. And it was hours and hours of tedious, very tedious work and running around. And I was exhausted at the end of the night. But I had a 20-minute break. And if you just have 20 minutes a day to tell people about this product, it will change your life. If you totally concentrate on that. Because I took people's names and I called them every single day for the 20 minutes that I had, and I just said, I care about you, just like I did to David Silverman. I want you to know about this. This is something so incredible that you deserve to know about this. You need to know about this. You don't know when you might need it, and I feel that people over the age of 10 all need it. And I kept talking to people, and they kept saying, this sounds like the fountain of youth. Why wouldn't I try it? And they started trying it. And they started having miraculous results with this. And then they came back to me and said, can you tell my aunt, my mother, my grandfather, whoever else about this? And my business started growing. And I was able to save my home within a month. And in a year's time, I was making enough to be able to afford to quit that job and to pay for my son's rehearsal dinner. Whereas in the year before, I would have never been able to give him a dime for his wedding. You don't know how proud that makes me. And it can change people's lives in that way also. So I beg you to not ever judge where people are. You have no idea what's going on in their life. I did not look like I was broke or needed help. And you don't know who needs help in this world. But everyone deserves to know about this product, the opportunity, and how huge and magnificent this is. And the world deserves to know about this. And we will change the world, as Verta says, one person at a time, by telling them about this product and this opportunity. So thank you so much. And please go out and tell somebody about this that you care about, because it will change their lives if they listen. Thank you. And now I'd like to bring up Paul Tyra. I've worked with Paul in an Ecuador event that he's going to tell you about, which ASEA is part of and changing people's lives also.
All right, thanks so much, Deb.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. My role here today is to talk about the ASEA Advancing Life Foundation, something very close to my heart. Part of ASEA's mission is to be a force for good in the world. And I'll tell you, I've been with a lot of other companies, and a lot of them have said the same thing, but had not delivered on. But within about 5 years of ASEA being online, after they got the company up running smooth, on one of our Diamond Trip events, they asked us if we would be interested, the Diamonds that qualified for this, it was basically a vacation, but if we would be interested in contributing to helping a local village. And we did. And lo and behold, we raised, there was about 40 of us, and we contributed a total of about $28,000. And we're able to change the roof of a school and replace all the desks. We put up some signs. We actually did some manual labor, and we're able to do some things. And I think the company really felt that this wasn't like something we were just talking about, that we really wanted to make a difference on that end as well. So the next convention, they asked all of the associates of the convention if they'd be interested in helping out Nepal. There was an earthquake there, and we did contributions, and sure enough, raised over $60,000 at that one convention over just a couple of days. So from that spawned the ASEA Advancing Life Foundation. And the mission of the foundation is to help end the cycles of poverty, suffering, and abuse. So they partnered with a great organization first, Choice Humanitarian. And Choice's mission to do the same thing. They don't want to just go give people free handouts. They actually look for communities that want to better themselves and that are willing to work alongside, and that way when we leave, they can continue that and continue growth. So the first year we went to Mexico and helped out a small little village, helped them with water cisterns and ovens, and again, they were working right alongside of us. And then the last 3 years, we've been in Ecuador building a vocational school in an area where they've had to send their children sometimes into cities. And a lot of times those children were being abducted. And they were being abducted for slavery, sex slavery, and things of that nature. So by having a school in their community, they would be able to prevent that, also raise the wage rate in that area. And then subsequently, we partnered up with another organization called Operation Underground Railroad. And their job is to end human trafficking and child sex slavery and do amazing things, not only by freeing the children from these conditions, but also making actual arrests around the world. So if you contribute to the Advancing Life Foundation, your contributions go toward both of these causes. Last year alone, the foundation, through all of the wonderful ASEA associates, raised approximately $500,000. So thank you very much. What I'd like to do now is bring up ASEA's newest Ambassador Diamond, Ed Weens, to talk about vision. Ed.
Thank you, Paul. Hey, everybody. Hey. Hello, all you thousands of people out there. We preachers count ears when we look at a crowd. So it's good to be here. And after all of these speakers, and I'm here to talk about vision, I tell you how I feel. I feel like a mosquito flying over a nudist colony. I know what to do, but I don't know where to start. Wow, the vision that drives this company is just unlike anything that I've had a chance to be a part of. My challenge, I think all of us have the challenge of trying to grasp where we are in the context of the big picture. We sometimes don't know that. We pray for answers in life. We don't recognize the package that come in. We seek to be in the right place at the right time, and we don't know that we're there until we look back and say, gee, I should have bought that piece of property or sold that piece of property, that stock or whatever. And what I want you to know is that you are in the right place at the right time now. Now, you may not have had the good fortune of, Jeff Bezos has been touted, I guess, recently as pretty well off. One of the wealthiest guys in the world. He's a billionaire in Google stock. He had a chance to buy Google stock at 6 cents a share. Well, some of you didn't have that opportunity. Some of you didn't get a chance to get in on the cell phone wave when it was brand new. You didn't get a chance to own Microsoft when it was just getting started in Redmond, Washington. You have the chance to participate in something here at the beginning of something that's going to be as big. Burtis Norton, in fact, the first time I met him, he kind of pulled me in another guy's side. He says, guys, He says, if the world ever really grasps what we have here, we're the next Apple computer. Now here's a guy that's run multi-billion-dollar divisions on a global scale, understands what this could possibly be. And we get a chance to know about it and participate for $40. Did you hear that? $40. It's a low threshold of entry, but don't minimize the potential just because it's so easy to participate. This is a big deal. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay. It's a really big deal. Just grasp the fact that you know about it at this stage of the game. Take advantage of it. Don't be the person looking back and say, gee, I was in this yard one time out in a pretty scenic place in eastern Washington, and I heard some folks talking about this stuff, but I didn't really pay attention. This is a big deal. This is your Microsoft. This is your Google. This is your Uber. This is it. Now, some of you thought opportunities passed you by. This is a drum I've been beating for the last several months. Probably going to keep beating it because I'm right at the age group where it's my drum. Okay? Vertus Norton didn't even launch this company till age 69. How many of you are within 2 or 3 years of that right now? All right? I'm looking for hands here. All right? Within 5 years, okay? You know, a preacher one time took a side job as a lifeguard, and he got fired because he kept saying, hey, I see that hand. I'm right there. I'm going to be 68 this year. So my challenge to the folks that are 60 plus is that this is not the chapter of your life where you're going out to pasture. This is not the time. In fact, I've purged retirement from my vocabulary. People will say, can you retire from what you do? I say, what would I stop doing? Would I stop traveling and staying in nice places and meeting nice people? Would I stop sharing something that I can? What would I ever stop doing? What does that say?
It says you're doing fantastic.
That's what I thought it said. STOP stands for I'm doing fantastic. Awesome. So, listen, it's time. I'm going to honor the time. It's time to stop. Thank you, Russell. This is your moment, folks. This is your moment. Look around the person left or right, say, this is my time.
This is my time.
Look at the person. This is an exercise here. Left or right, say, this is my time. Thank you.
Woo! So I'm going to bring up one powerful lady that you get to hear from. You are going to enjoy her story so much. But I'm going to have her speak to our over 200 listeners who are watching live on Facebook, okay? Now, if you have been sitting here saying, oh man, I wish I would have had so-and-so here. Oh, it would have been so good for my friend or my neighbor to hear this. You can go directly to ASEA United where this entire recording has been recorded and tag them there and they can watch this, okay? But now, what I'd like to do is bring up this amazing, powerful woman I promised you. She is full of vision and energy, and if you're around her, look out. So I'd like to introduce you now to Triple Diamond Gina Moran. Gina? Talk to Facebook.
Woo! Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, I'm the captain of my own ship today. Can you tell? I love my ASEA hat. Hey, everybody. I'm going to step out on a limb and just say that I was probably introduced to ASEA, unlike some of you who may have had a health condition. Oh, right. Here we go. See, she has to tell us twice. I was actually introduced to ASEA by my dear friend, Dr. Dick Walker, a doctor, but not because I had a health issue or a disease, because I was sick financially. We were actually in dire straits. We'd lost a 7,000 square foot home in the 08-09 real estate and mortgage crisis all at the same time. So, I was brought up in a family where I learned strong work ethics from my father. He always taught me if you just, worked hard, get good grades, get a good job, you can make it in this world. But I don't know, how many of you are really excited about waking up to an alarm clock, racing in rush hour traffic to get to a job, right, just over broke, that you may or may not be excited about? Do you know what they call that? They call that stress. It's no wonder, America, it's no wonder stress is the number one causing sickness, right, in this country. What I've discovered in this industry is that we get to make choices every day, and we can define and shape our own destiny and our own future. But I didn't know that. I didn't understand that until I was introduced to network marketing that taught me this is the most viable, ethical business. Okay? Let me say that again, the most viable, ethical business. Because where else in the world are you going to find people like this to come beside you, above you, and down below you and help you to achieve your dreams, your goals, your desires, your passions? Okay, out there in corporate America, they'd probably be about $300 an hour, I would say, for mentors like that. So I've been so incredibly blessed and feel so grateful to work among top leaders like this. And just as a homeschooling mom, you see, after working out in many, many different careers of my life, everything from being an animal control officer to selling boats in Bellingham Bay, I came home to one of the highest callings, the highest careers in this world that I believe for women, that was to be a mom. And I got to stay home and be with my children. And when this business was brought to me by my mentors, it allowed me the time to be home with my children, but to still create an income to help. Because as most of you know, we don't make it with one income anymore. This is not the 1950s and 60s. It takes both parents, doesn't it, to work. So if I could leave you with anything today, I would say, don't forget about the people out here who may just be looking to earn an additional $500 a month, $1,000 a month. Maybe they're not like me that want to create big time income. Maybe they just need a little bit to get by and to take some of that stress off of the family, right? I know a lot of us are grandparents, okay? And we're bringing up that next generation. So if I may make a recommendation, I highly recommend that you follow this company and these people and follow your dreams and create and build your future, okay? Be in charge of your time and your desire. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you, Gina. So I want to thank, before I bring up our concluding speakers, I want to thank all of the guests who have been on our Facebook Live, as well as our guests in our live audience. So thank you for joining us. You guys, at this point, I find that people fall into one of three categories. The first category is that people want to try our product. And so if you are a guest at our event, just get back to the person who invited you and tell them, I want to try this product. The second category I find people fall into is those who say, you know what, I'd love to get started as an associate. I'd love to share this amazing technology, and I wouldn't mind have happened to me what happened to some of these people. The third category is those who have questions and would like more information. So whoever invited you can get you that information and answer your questions. Just tell them which category you fall into. So at this point, I have the honor and the pleasure of introducing you to our visionary and generous leaders whose property, beautiful property we are on here today, who we've spent the last several days enjoying their hospitality, their vision, their leadership. And so I also get to tell you that one of the speakers you're going to hear from is going to tell you why you would be crazy not to have a home-based business because of the tax advantages. So listen in while Denny and Tom Robinson bring us home. Denny and Tom.
Over to you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming to our home and joining us here. We are so privileged to have you here. I hope you've heard some things that get you excited. And as Ed said, about just a little over 10 years, just a little under 10 years ago, we recognized our Microsoft moment. And it was amazing. We came away from that and realized that we were hearing something that was going to change our lives. We never imagined 10 years forward how much it was going to change our lives and how many incredible people we would be introduced to. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about, from a little different perspective. Hopefully you've heard lots of reasons why you should be taking ASEA. Okay? Everyone should be on ASEA. But do you know that there are tax advantages to a home-based business that will allow you to immediately pay for your product every month? Okay? As an employee, there basically are no tax benefit. As a as a home-based business, you're immediately able to take a lot of deductions that you don't otherwise get to, and you can immediately pay for your product. Okay, and then as you grow your business, those tax benefits grow, and you can start to take advantage of lots of provisions in the tax code that allow you to save a lot of money on taxes. And as you continue to grow, and now where Denny and I are at, we save tens of thousands of dollars a year on taxes just because we have our own home-based business. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail of all that, but hopefully you understand how important it is that each one of you be on the product, and that there are some great tax advantages that will allow you some benefits that will help you in your financial freedom.
Tom, let me ask you, as a CPA with about 30 years of experience, the opportunity that this provides people compared to people who are looking to perhaps buy a franchise or a business like that.
Well, Ed kind of hit on a point. He said, you know, you can join this for $40, but sometimes we often underestimate. We say, oh, it's only $40 to get in. So sometimes we attach that kind of value to it. Someone that buys a business or a franchise or something like that, they're going to invest $100,000, maybe even $500,000 in that business. Do you know how hard they work if they make that kind of investment? They are going to do absolutely everything that is required to make that business successful. And if somebody would join this business for $40 and they would put that kind of effort into this business, your return on what you could get from this business, and by helping, and you know, the part that I love is that we often say the amount of money that you make in this business is only in direct reflection to the number of people that you help. And if people would put that kind of effort into this business, that they would, if they invested that kind of money, $500,000, you would be successful beyond your wildest imagination.
Well, you know, Tom's often said that to me. He'll say, Denny, I love you, honey, but you got to realize it doesn't happen in the real world, right? I think this is the real world. But in a traditional business with someone, I tell people I've got a PhD, a public high school diploma, okay, and 2 years of college. Where else could someone like me with my education level be able to create this kind of lifestyle and literally this kind of income where I can literally travel around the world and all I need is my cell phone and my laptop computer. And it's one thing to have earned this kind of an income, but what touches me the most and that I'm most proud of is that we've been able to touch the lives of so many other people. Because I truly believe ASEA is a gift. And a gift isn't a gift until you give it away. And many of these people I called and they called, and people saw the opportunity. And the only reason that all of us are here talking about a business is it because it arose out of an obligation of those founders who I have had the privilege of literally traveling the world with. And let me tell you, as I see you here today, as I have really traveled throughout the US, throughout Europe, throughout Australia, and now through Asia, there are so many people. And as I sit in rooms in different countries and have this translated into different languages, you'll probably often see me in the corner crying like a little girl, thinking because I opened my mouth in little Spokane, Washington, this is what happened. So let me tell you, the train has left the station with this company. It is moving. And even when I first got started, almost 10 years ago, I remember saying, with or without Tom and Denny Robinson, this company's going to go somewhere, and I want to be a part of it. And it truly has been our Microsoft moment to not only change our lives, our families' lives for the rest of our life, but to be able to be a conduit for good, to change the lives of people who will never know my name. My children, my 4 children, and my son, they are having a baby at this moment tonight. Those are my greatest legacy. But to know that I get to do something far beyond myself, because this product, with this technology, it makes a difference for people. It does. And so we urge you tonight to get back the people who brought you, who invited you to listen to this Zoom or here tonight. But this product is for everyone, regardless of whether you're interested in the business. But I have to tell you, once you start to see what happens in your own body, you're going to share it with other people. And we are so grateful, so honored that each and every one of you are here with us, that we were able to have so many of my friends, and I'd like them all to come up here so we can say a wonderful farewell to all of you. Let's give them all a great big hand. So with that, thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to all these amazing leaders. And everyone, have a great night. Everyone say goodbye over here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.